Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I can definitely see why ancient humans ate the mummies because I hate the pyramid plunder. I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. If you're new around here, welcome. Normally, I'm not so raspy and voice cracky, but we're a podcast that talks about old school RuneScape. We talk about it a lot. That's kind of our thing. Realistically, you searched old school podcast or you found us through another one of the amazing old school RuneScape podcasts out there. I recently saw Boon Babe. She tweeted something a couple days ago that was like a scam ad reached out and was like, "Hey, we're offering $35 million for RuneScape content creation or RuneScape podcasts." And her tweet was like, "There's only like 12 of us. It's like a 3 mil split a piece. Like, that's pretty good."
Sign us up, maybe.
Could you imagine, dude, a 3 mil split for talking about RuneScape in a much more coordinated fashion than this episode's going to be? That'd be great. In other news, if you're not new around here, I am so terribly sorry. I am sick myself, and Michael and I's recording schedule for the entire month of April has very violently been thrown off. So we'll talk about that here very soon. But if you're not new around here, the audio quality is going to stay the same, but the content, at least for this week, we don't even know what we're going to talk about. I got a spoiled main title for you. Michael, brother, how have you been?
I've been both good and bad. Let me just tell you, there's definitely a duality of man going on this week because I did some cool stuff, right? I'm progressing the account, but I've spent way more hours than I would like to admit in the pyramid plunder minigame, and I don't have a scepter.
Can't
And
relate.
it's pissing me off. And I'm actually like, this is putting me over the edge. I've committed to the conspiracy that Group Iron Man accounts share RNG, and you stole it. You stole my RNG. And every time I would get a scepter, so like, no, sorry, Oxie got a scepter. And then every time I would get a scepter again, like, oh no, you think, but Oxie got the pet. I can't give you a scepter. Oxie got the pet.
Is that why
And
we
then
haven't
Ralph-
seen any more chambers purples? Because you took all the purples and arcanes?
Probably, but like I'm sharing the love when it comes to giving you the extras. And then Ralph has two. He has two already also. So if I would have gotten my third roll on a scepter, it's like, nah, sorry. Ralph has two. He got the other one. So I can't, dude. I can't anymore. I have a tracker. For all of you listening, Oxie knows this already, but for all of you listening, I have a tracker called Pyramid Plunder something. So it's called Pyramid Plunder Counter. And essentially, like every time you loot a chest, it does the math within the plugin and it tells you what percentage chance you should be at to have received a scepter by now. So every time you loot a chest or sarcophagus, that percentage chance goes up. And I have it on my main PC and I have it on my laptop. And I've gotten to over 60% on both computers. I've looted like close to 700 gold chests and on each. So at this point, like I've looted close to like 13 or 1400 gold chests, and I've looted close to 1,000 sarcophagi since Friday morning. Today it's Sunday. So Friday morning I started doing this. I streamed on Friday night. I woke up Saturday morning. I started playing. I thought I was going to get it. I thought it was going to be a good Saturday. And then I played all night on Saturday night during D&D. I was doing Pyramid Plunder the whole time I was playing D&D. And then this morning, I played pretty much the entire morning. And let's see. What time did I say I quit? What time did I just get? Okay. At 11 o'clock. I woke up at like 7. I pretty much played the entire morning. So another like 4 hours. 11 o'clock, I called it quits. I'm done. I'm not doing Pyramid Plunder anymore. But
I mean, we can try.
Ralph said he'd get me one. Ralph said he's going to get me one. So.
XP wasters, you know what to do.
If
you really want to get them to do it.
This is not one of those situations. I'm not doing it.
You know what you guys should do? You should find, because I sent this image to Michael earlier and he did not find it as inspiring as I hoped. You guys should get the image of the dude in the mine who's like right by the diamonds, then turns around and walks away. You guys should at Michael when you hear this And just don't say anything. Just add Michael and put that picture in.
You know what it's gonna do? It's gonna make me mad, not motivate me.
Yeah.
Because I told
use
you the
that
other
anger
night.
as motivation.
You know what? I told you that the other night, and I hadn't realized it until I said it out loud. I am not the type of person where you can like try to convince me to do something I don't want to do when I've already made my mind. If I've already made my mind up, it's not gonna happen.
That's
You can't be like,
inflexibility, big dog. What are you doing with that?
get in there.
That's
You gotta do just one more.
well,
Can't peer
that's
pressure me, bro.
but it's not like you're not. It's not a moral high ground for not being peer pressured. It's no flexibility to try something that's difficult. It is, oh, this was hard one time, so it's going to be hard forever, and I'm never going to do it again. That's what I hear
I
when
I
I
beg
hear
your
that.
finest pardon. I beg your finest pardon telling me that what I've been through over the last 72 hours hasn't already been hard. Because what what I failed to mention at this point is I've been grinding for a scepter since before fall bingo last year. And I reached 100% during fall bingo last year. So I should have received a scepter like October or November of 2024. And then I thought surely like, oh, you know what? I've done my dues. I've gone dry. I've done my dues. I'll go there for like a couple of hours and get a scepter. It'll be easy peasy. No, 72 hours later, I'm done. No more.
Well,
I don't think I want to go back.
okay, then give up. I don't care. Don't have a
I'm
pharaoh
giving up.
scepter. What do I care? It's not my house. That's not going to have an altar. I mean, you could take the
Yeah,
cop
Ralph
out.
said
You could take the cop out option and get one of your groupies to do it for you. That's fine.
it's
You
not
know,
a cop out.
it is a cop out option. It's group Iron Man. That's how it's supposed to be played. It's not like you're trying to like get a super rare item. You're dry, which means you're due. You know, you got that competitive edge. That's fine. That's on you to not have that. Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, to me, that's inflexibility. You know, you got to get back out there. You got knocked
What is
down.
there to be competitive
You
about?
got knocked down. You got knocked down. It's time to get back up. Are you gonna let Pyramid Plunder of all things beat you?
Yes. I'm walking away. I got knocked down and I'm walking away. Besides Pyramid Plunder, I'm 2016 total. I finished off a lot of the levels that where I was like really close. Like I got 92 range, 87 prayer, I got 86 herblore, and 86 construction. So I think like honestly, my goal of getting at least base 85s this year is very well underway. There's only a couple that I think are gonna suck. I mean, it's just gonna be a matter of like getting the supplies for crafting. Not that it's gonna suck, but that's a lot of buckets of sand and a lot of super glass make. But like the one that I'm not looking forward to is fishing. And the reason I think I'm not looking forward to it is because I want to do it at Karambwans, and that's just a slow ass method of getting fishing. Because I want to be able to like do something to also bank 99 cooking. I'm gonna get a bunch of grapes from Zolra. Like I'll have other things that I can do for fishing, but like it's gonna take thousands and thousands of fish to get to 99 cooking. And I would like to bank that along the way because I need 91 fishing for the diary. It's probably one of the last super long grinds that I have for my account. Because right now I'm at 84 rune crafting. I think by the time this month is done, I'll have 86. So that'll be the rune crafting grind done for diaries. And then yeah, I think it's literally just gonna be fishing. That's gonna take me the longest. Smithing is probably gonna take a while, but I've already decided I'm gonna do it at Giant's Foundry. And I think once you get in a rhythm there, it really isn't that bad. I have like 20,000 gold that I could also go and do at Blast Furnace, but I think I want to put that in group storage and let you guys just have it because I don't really care to use it. I can get most, if not all, of my smithing done for diaries with the amount of like mithril and adamant bars that I have. Yeah, that's my week. I know that you are not feeling well, but that's been a recent development.
Oh
But
yeah.
you're also doing a bingo. How's that going?
It ended before the event ended. So I was doing a tile race with some friends. It's always nice to like TNL bingos are huge. If you've never participated in one, like TNL bingos are absolutely massive. They truly are like like I think 500 people play. There's like 30 teams. Like it's crazy. This was like 2 teams of like 5 or 6 people each. Like it was just a nice little tile race. It was a good time. We did mains against irons, and I'm sorry to report that the irons actually won. They pulled off a last second clutch while I was gone today, and the Iron men won the whole thing. So, which like congratulations to them. It was a really fun weekend. It was a really hard fought fight. Other than the food poisoning that kind of ruined my evening last night on Saturday, everything else has been a lot of fun. IRL, why the recording schedule is so thrown off. It's fencing talk again, and you guys seem to not hate that the first time we talked about it. Michael did, but you guys didn't. But I have an opportunity to get a Moniteur certification or Monteur, my level 3 coaching cert. It's for foil, unfortunately, but I already talked to the maestro, and he's like, listen, dude, everything that we teach here is going to be translatable to Saber. It's just going to be different footwork. Like it's different footwork, different blade work, but like the tempo changes, the distance changes, the acceleration changes. Like those are all applicable, and that's what I need. Like my students need me to be a better coach. And even if I learn for a different weapon, I will translate it to Saber as best I can. But that is literally every Sunday from it's the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. So they're realistically in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be at least one episode without me there. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Michael and I are recording on Easter Sunday. So like April is going to be a little wacky, but these classes never come around. You know, like there's these opportunities never really exist in Michigan, and I really don't want to have to travel for like a weekend to like Virginia or something like that. So you know what? It's awkward, but it has to be done. That's what I'm doing in real life. That's showing off recording. That's why we are recording at 9:30 Eastern time tonight. Maybe we'll do another evening recording. Maybe we'll do a Saturday recording. We'll have to play it by ear. But in game, I don't know that I have done anything on my Iron Man. I got to level with you.
Really?
I think I made that that altar, and that literally might be it. Like maybe I've done some AFK Slayer. Currently, I'm doing fire making. I'm at Wintertodd because Fear got a blowpipe. I'm pretty sure. So that means Michael has access to a blowpipe. So I have about 6.6 million fire making experience. So we just got to keep on stepping. We're at 92 right now. Just keep on stepping to 93, then 94. Because in reality, Michael is going to get the blowpipe first. I think there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think Michael gets the blowpipe first if he actually does Zulrah. But given his spiel about giving up so easily and being defeated at the drop of a hat, the coach in me is absolutely maulding. But you know what? That's fine. So maybe if he gets another Onyx, he'll never go back to Zulrah again because it will just be too difficult. But if he does go back, he's getting.
I have
blowpipe.
to speak up.
Go
You're
ahead.
acting like I did. You're acting like I did Pyramid Plunder for 5 minutes and just was like, oh, Scepter, where's Scepter? I'm giving up. It was not at the drop of a hat.
It not.
was after I ran 400 miles and my shoes fell off. Bro, it's not been easy.
You're a
This is
content
not the
creator.
drop of a hat.
You're a content creator. You're an inspiration to people. You just give up because you're dry. That's not entertaining for folks. That doesn't motivate them to go do it themselves. Right?
I'm not here to be entertaining with
Then
my grind.
What are you doing here, dog?
I'm living life, brother.
Well, anyways, I'm pretty sure Michael is going to beat me to the blowpipe grind. That said, it's going to be a miserable stop if I just have to do. I think I've done the math. It's like 20 hours of Wintertodd. So like it's not horrible, but it's definitely not great because I'm just not a Todd fan. But you know what? We're gaming. We're going to do what we can today and other days when I actually feel motivated, which is not super often to do Wintertodd. I'm not going to lie to you. That's pretty much all I feel like I've done on my Iron. I don't think I've done anything else. On my main, I finally made it to Soul. Finally made it to Soul for the first time on the main.
Congratulations.
That was fun. I got Soul to 40% and then died because it was dumb. Like I had one of those beams of light underneath me and then stepped in the wrong place. So it's like I took a 30 and then I walked in the wrong spot and I took a 40 and I just got killed. Like The Coliseum runs have been progressing a lot better. I have not been in Coliseum all weekend. Again, I have been doing this tile race with my friends. So we did not roll a Coliseum tile literally once. Was not in the Coliseum at all. So I'm going to be going back in cold. And then finally, the only other thing I've done this week is I kind of got strong armed / convinced into buying Legends Arceus. And I'm really excited to play more Legends Arceus. But I gotta get this fucking quiver because it's already April and I still don't have it. So it's like, part of me is like, just get the quiver and call it good. And then don't play RuneScape for a while. And then another part of me is like, dude, I really want to play this new game. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I don't know anything else of note that I have particularly done. But yeah, shout out to the Cult of Mains on the tile race. But that's about it.
Right on. Well, after that incredibly short intro, we've found ourselves with almost nothing to talk about.
I mean, I kind of like it when the intro is not half an hour long. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure, I think people like it too.
I feel like didn't we get a lot of comments like a while ago that was like, "Hey, shut the hell up." Like your intros are way too long.
Think so.
There's somebody who was real pissed off about it. I don't remember who, but
if you're listening right now, we hope you're not pissed off. Oh well, it was Otis.
Otis just did
the wave in the recording booth. Oh, Otis said he has to go to bed, so he just wanted to get mentioned on the podcast. Otis,
what a man.
Thank you. Love you, bro. What has been happening in the game as far as updates are concerned? Castle Wars has a lot of controversy. Have you seen any of the stuff happening with Castle Wars?
I did. Yeah, they said, "Hey, let's add a way to make real in-game money off it." And then we're like, "Oh no, people abused it. What? That was unheard of." And then they immediately took it out. It's like, dude,
yeah,
you had to know that was going to happen.
I saw something on Reddit that was like, okay, Jagex, you're onto something, talking about how too many things bring in blood runes and like 30 million blood runes get brought into the game every day or something. You know, it's like it's an exorbitant amount of blood runes get brought into the game every single day. We have to do something about it. And 3 weeks after RuneFest, they have another source of blood runes that's not rune crafting. Come on. Like, I see where you're going. Like, I know your head's in the right place, but could it have been any other rune? Maybe chaos runes? maybe death runes? Something.
It literally just blood reminds me of that, like, aren't you Patrick Star? Yep. Like that's pretty much how I think that interaction went down. So like, don't give it death runes. Yeah, makes sense to me. Okay. Yeah, blood runes. Like, come on, man.
Come on.
Now, granted, I have not played Castle Wars maybe ever in my time in old school. I think I played it like maybe one time.
Oh, wow.
Like, when I was a kid, I loved Castle Wars. I would put all my like 2006 bangers on, you know, and like play Castle Wars all day because I thought it was so much fun. But like as an adult, there's literally no point in ever playing it. So I haven't.
Collection logs.
Well,
like you have a goal for collection logs, so you might have to at some point.
I've heard with the collection logs at Castle Wars, all you have to do is like to get enough tickets to buy like the most expensive item, and then you just have to buy and sell that item.
Yeah.
And then you just get them all. So it's not like Trouble Brewing where it's like a 300-hour grind to get all the pieces of 8. Like you just need, it's like 250 tickets or something. I don't know.
I know that there are some that you buy and sell back. And then there are some that are permanent unlocks. It's just going to make it easier to get them, which is kind of fun. So I think the biggest controversy, and I say it's a controversy, it really was not, because literally they're like, hey, there's crates now that you can get. And they made it to where in Castle Wars, at the release, you could literally just stand there for 20 minutes, and then you would get tickets. And then you could use those tickets to get a crate. So you just AFK for 20 minutes, do nothing, literally. You just walk away from your computer, and then you just get free supplies. That's not a good solution. So they temporarily paused the loot crates from Castle Wars, and they're like, we're gonna address this next week. So I'm pretty sure come tomorrow morning, Monday morning, like somebody's scrambling They're having meetings. They're going to be talking about it. It's going to be, I'm interested to see. So, like, when this episode releases, the update for that hopefully has come out. They put out a solution already, but we don't know. At the time of recording, we have no idea. So that's why we're like, ooh, what is it going to be? We record way early in the week. You guys know that. So I didn't think we would get a Castle Wars update. I know that it was on like some sort of survey or a poll, but they really did a bunch to like update the mini game. And I'm sure they'll keep doing more, because if I had to speculate what's going to happen this Wednesday. So, episode comes out today. What happened yesterday? Michael from the past is going to speculate for the future. I think they add some sort of AFK timer just to be like, hey, if you stop moving for more than, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes, something like they have in pest control,
Mhm.
then you're just kicked out. You can't just stand there. Some sort of AFK timer would be good. Maybe you would have to, and this could fall under a different, many different like solutions under the heading of AFK timer. Like, you could just have a bar that like, unless you interact with things within pest control or you do damage, it the bar goes down. Maybe you have to kill a certain amount of people. Maybe you have to set up a certain amount of barricades. Maybe you have to walk a certain amount of steps. I don't know. But some sort of AFK timer is my guess on how they control that.
Mhm.
Or they just make the crates more expensive. So it's not just like you do one game and you get a crate. It's like, hey, you need to do like 5 games or 10 games, and then you have enough tickets to get a crate. And then the crate becomes less worth it, but still worth it to get if you have everything, and like maybe you need the supplies that are in there. Because like if you do Soul Wars, you can't claim one of the crates from there every time you do a Soul Wars game. It takes a couple of games. So I don't know.
See, to me, that's so skewed. I've literally only ever played Soul Wars in leagues. So for me, I feel like
With the boosted points.
with like the mega boosted points. So like
Yeah.
Soul Wars in the main game, it's like, all right, cool. You got 5 zeal. I'd be like, I got what? I can't get a crate, huh? This sucks.
I think a crate is like 30 zeal, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you're doing the Dolo method, I think you can get like 19 to 20 zeal every 5 minutes. So it's not every game, but it's not like, doesn't take super, super long. But on a regular game that goes for 15 minutes, I don't know what you're getting. I've never played an actual game of Soul Wars in the main game to see like, oh, you're getting like 90 zeal. You're pulling 3 crates in 15 minutes. Who knows? You may. So in the crate, they had like pretty much, I think what they may have actually done is I think they may have just copied the drop table from Soul Wars and just put it in Castle Wars and said, yeah, that's good. Because to me, it looks like a lot of the same stuff that you can get from Soul Wars. Like there's blood runes, soul runes, adamant arrow or adamant bolts, rune bolts, seeds, food, rockables, that kind of stuff. And that's pretty much like stock standard for Soul Wars. Pure Essence is a big one.
I was to say it looks like you get blighted supplies, blood, death, nature, soul, and then rune javelin, rune arrow, and then up to 28k raw cash.
Oh damn. Okay, so the blighted would be the biggest difference. It's interesting that you get blighted.
Yeah.
Because it's like a head scratcher when it comes to like, wait, Soul Wars is also a PvP. Why is there not blighted stuff from Soul Wars?
I mean, there is.
I don't think you get anything blighted at Soul Wars. Unless they updated
you can
it.
buy
You can buy it.
You can buy blighted sacks, manta rays, anglefish, carambons, and restores for 10 zeal a pop. And
you can buy it, but from the crates, I mean, you're not getting any blighted supplies in the loot crate.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me want to do Castle Wars though. Just for fun.
It's a little tempting just because I'm like, well, now if people are actually doing it, maybe games won't be so miserable to finish. Because I'm not literally on the ticket exchange right now. I'm just like looking up for laughs. How long would it take to get this clog if you did it the normal way? If both teams' scores are tied for any number other than 0, so if it's 1-1, it takes 25.7 in-game days. That's how long it would take. It's 1,850 games. 2,700 games if you're only earning 2 tickets per game. That's 38 days of playtime.
Playtime?
Yes, 38 days of in-game time. Because Castle Wars games are long as fuck.
They didn't address that. That's I think that's like I said, that's an L. Like they did all this stuff to update Castle Wars, but they still made the games incredibly long. They kept them long, at least.
Literally, it says here, I'm just gonna read this right off the wiki. However, in order to buy each item to complete the collection log without necessarily keeping any particular items, a player would only need to obtain 800 tickets. The reason for this is that all shop items can be sold back for full price. The decorative armor, gold plate body, is the most expensive item at 800 tickets. Under these circumstances, the amount of games were listed above are reduced to 267 and 400 respectfully. This would reduce the total time to obtain each item at least once by a factor of roughly 7, resulting in roughly 3.7 to 11.1 days, or 89 all the way up to 266 hours to complete the Castle Wars collection log.
It's a lot.
It sounds like misery. So like it is so many clogs that if I put the hours in, like I'm still trying to get to 1,000 clogs this year. I kind of want to get to 900 so I can get the new, I think it's like the Mithril collection log stick that I'd be going for. Like I kind of want to get that. But at that point, if I get 900, I might as well just go for 1,000. Between that and CAs, like we're on a journey on the main. But yeah, I don't know. Castle Wars was a lot of fun when we didn't know what efficiency was. But unfortunately, now they've just found a way to add a monetary incentive to it, so it's just not even like the fun kind of gameplay. Like I don't even like Soul Wars. I hate playing sweaty Soul Wars. Like Soul Wars, how you're supposed to play it. No, I'm here to kill people. The whole point is to bring our super cool gear and kill each other for fun. I feel the same way in leagues. And people are like, actually, you're supposed to stand in the middle. Like, no, you're supposed to murder each other. I have an e-girl who hits 15s on my side. I have a nuke. Like my tactical move is run in and kill myself. Like that to me is way more fun than, well, if we play it the right way, we maximize our zeal. Like, no, shut up. Leave me alone. That's not fun. Learn to have a little fun, you know? So like, I don't even like playing regular Soul Wars. I imagine that like Castle Wars to that same extent is also probably not that fun. Like actually trying to play Castle Wars to get tickets probably sucks, if I'm being entirely honest. But I don't know. I've not really done it. So I don't know. I mean, I'd be optimistic to try it and try to go for it, but
yeah, I think in terms of actual gameplay and PvP, all of those aspects, I think Castle Wars is closer to what you would be wanting. Because in Soul Wars, people have learned to cheese it. They've learned to like optimize how to earn zeal. But like Castle Wars is literally just capture the flag.
yeah, but you don't
And
have
kill
to
people.
do that. You don't have to do that in Soul Wars. You can play for fun. Like there are like if you kill the avatars and kill people, like I get the most points in leagues when I go on killing sprees. You know, it's like there is a way. Like yes, people have optimized it, but the optimal way to play it sucks balls. So I don't know. I just don't want to play it.
If you're saying the clan Castle Wars as an event might be kind of funny, I agree. I think I'm going to try and get with the event planners maybe after bingo, maybe before, who knows? Maybe like the day before bingo.
Bingo is
We
so
just do like a
close,
fun
isn't it?
clan event. It's so close.
Bingo is so close. Bingo starts on May 3rd. I literally thought of that the other day. Bingo is so close. It's kind of crazy,
Look.
you know?
Oh, guess what? Signups went live today.
Oh, Jesus
So-
Christ. Are general signups
Yeah.
out today? Holy.
General signups are out today. It's the 10th.
Oh, well,
So
shit.
get over to Discord. Link is in the description. If you want to play bingo, go to the events channel and look for any details related to signing up. We'll have signups available for a couple weeks. It's not going to be a very long time. So if you want to play in TNL Springo 2025, make sure you join our Discord. Everybody's welcome. It's not going to be, you have to be in the clan or you have to like send us a bribe. We're not taking cash, nothing. Like everybody's welcome up to a certain amount of people. Every year since like 4 bingos ago, we've put a hard cap at 500 participants because we can't deal with many more than
I thought we
that.
started doing that last bingo.
Was it last bingo?
Yeah, it was last bingo.
Or then maybe it was Springo last. Maybe it was Springo last year. I think it was
fall bingo last year.
Okay.
Because I don't remember. Who knows? Tiki would remember. Bully
Tiki
him.
would. Where's Tiki? Tiki's not in here. Not in the recording booth anyway. But yeah, join. And you can play on an Iron Man. You can play on a main account. You can play on a UIM if you really want to. Hardcore Iron Men reluctantly are welcome. If you have a Skiller account, probably not the best account to do bingo on, but there's a first for everything, and then the question always comes up. We get this question every year, Oxie. Is my account ready? Should I even join bingo?
Yes.
What should I do to get ready for bingo? All these questions pop up every single year. And our answer is always just join. Like, hey, if you have quests you got to get done, get them done. If you are sitting on a cash stack and maybe you want to buy some gear, buy the gear. But don't put off joining bingo because you think you're not going to be able to do anything, because you are.
Yeah.
Unless your account is like brand spanking new and you are 100 total level without membership and you haven't even finished Tutorial Island, that's not the account to play on bingo.
You let me know. You let me know. I'll draft you. We'll find a way to get you some tile. It's going to be rough. I got to level with you. You're probably not going to have a good time. But we're going to try our damnedest.
Tiki's in the recording booth, but he's not like listening. Interesting. Hello, Tiki. After the fact. I'm excited for bingo. I think we've cooked up a good one. Springo always follows the pattern of it's chill. There's no gimmicks. This isn't going to be a wild bingo. Not a lot of crazy rules to think about. Like, we've had some pretty interesting fall bingo like gimmicks in the past. We've done fall bingo King of the Hill. We've done a Trailblazer style bingo. We've done a skill tree style bingo. We had an anniversary bingo where you had to like use points to unlock boards. And then after you unlock the boards, then you have access to those tiles. But like for spring bingo, it's just good old fashioned scavenger hunt, essentially. I'm excited.
One of my, I don't even want to say regrets. One of my biggest things I wish I could go back and do for bingos is either find some way to play test anniversary or just be like, you know what? We can make it a little easier. We can make the point thresholds a little easier. Like I know we've said it before last year, but like the board design was not entirely malicious. Some of the tiles were malicious. Some of the tiles were like, you ungrateful bastards don't want to blackout? Fine, get the ancient blood icon. Like there were some things that were pretty more malicious than not. But at the same time, it was the thresholds to unlock the new boards that kind of killed anniversary's hype. And I didn't want that, like anniversary was meant to be a love letter to TNL, and that whole thing is like the tiles were themed and placed where they were, and they were designed how they were because that's what the tiles were when we created them.
Yeah,
potentially up to like 5 years ago when we were doing the event. So I wish there was a way where we could go back in time and make the point thresholds a little bit less strict on the early end so that we could have more people raiding and having fun, so we didn't have to adjust anything later on. Like I think mostly anniversary went off without a hitch. It's just like it was so overtuned for difficulty, and we just didn't need to be that overtuned, So
agreed.
I in hindsight, I wish we could have made it a little easier like we did at the beginning. Or we did on the Monday. But you know what? Other than that, what can you do?
It's honestly just going to be like something that makes future bingos better. Because every time we mess up, we add it to a list and we address that concern the next time. We do better the next time. And this isn't something we've had to deal with, you know? Like we've never really locked certain columns behind unlock, like getting points to unlock certain columns. It's not something we even
Yes
considered
and
to
no.
be.
We haven't done it with columns. We've done it with
Oh well,
points.
sure. So like
We've done
we
it
had,
with
we had skill tree.
We didn't
Yeah.
do it with points.
But the idea of like you have a 2x2 and then that unlocks a 3x3. That's something that we can easily look at and be like, okay, are these 4 tiles really hard? Are these 4 tiles something that's going to take them 48 hours to do? No. Okay, cool. But like honestly, and you're exactly right. I didn't even myself look at the tiles that were on the first 2 boards and think, this is going to be like really content locking to almost no group content. And that's what sucked.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the idea of like artificial intelligence and computers taking over certain things, but there's got to be some sort of program or script we can write that could have like play tested this for us, like looked at all the variables and found out where the weaknesses were. Probably that exists in some capacity. And like if the alternative really is like we have 10 people that we trust and we try this out on a weekend. But we don't have time for that most of the time. We would have to start planning bingo the day after the previous bingo ends if we were going to seriously play test the things that we come up with sometimes.
Which, if you have actually ever looked in the drive, I have for the last several bingos in a row. There's always like thoughts, literally like the day after bingo ends. I'm writing shit down at work. You know?
Yeah. The skillet is hot at that point still. So you got to strike while the iron is hot, I guess is the phrase. But but like seriously sitting down and actually having a bingo meeting the day after bingo ends sounds miserable. Getting ideas out of your head is one thing, but we may have to do that. I don't know. If the event planners group grows to the point where maybe some people are like not doing bingo, I've said it a bunch in the past. Like I would sit out of bingo and just be a full-time like admin if that's what needed to be. Like if that's what you guys needed or if that's what ever needed to happen. But it's never really needed to happen. We've never needed somebody to like sit out and be a full-time admin because we've always been able to innovate around that where in the past we were verifying every screenshot. Now captains do that. We were inputting all of the information into spreadsheets. Now captains do that. We had a lot of admin work when it came to like assigning roles and creating channels, and like Tiki just has this bot do that. So there's a lot of things that have become easier over the years of us doing that has taken a lot of weight off of the admin's shoulders. That has made the event easier to plan and play in. But if it ever came a point in time where we needed people to play test or we needed people to start planning bingo for the fall in like April, so the ideas that we have could go off without a hitch, it would essentially make it to where you're just going to not play Springo and you're going to be full focused on fall bingo. And then we have like a rotating team of you're the fall bingo person and you start planning now. And then the Springo people play in bingo and then they start planning after fall bingo stops or something. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling because this is just like there's a lot of different ways we could take it when it comes to like planning and play testing. Because you're right. Had we just put another ounce of thought into those first couple columns, like themes aside, doing the anniversary style thing aside, there probably was a couple of things we could have switched around to give those first 48 hours a better experience. But the points, like us changing the points kind of did that.
Mm-hmm.
The point thresholds. So no, it's a learning experience at the end of the day.
Indeed, it was. Are we going to talk about this new dragon thing?
We
'Cause I
can.
know you want to talk
Yeah.
about this dragon thing, Dragon Wilds.
Yeah, Otis has brought it up a few times. They announced a few days ago at this point that Jagex is finally in the survival game. It's not even like it's not an MMO. It's a straight up survival game. And like everything that I've heard, everybody that I've seen talk about it, whether that's in like reviews or on Reddit, on social media, everybody's kind of like saying this is Valheim, but with RuneScape's magic system. Obviously, at this point, we know almost nothing about the game in terms of like actual mechanics. When the game comes out, at the time of recording, nothing has been released. They've given us a kind of a gameplay demo in the trailer. It's a trailer. And then they just had like a 2-minute long trailer of like drone footage of the world of Ashenfall, the continent of Ashenfall, I should say. Because apparently this isn't Gielinor, but it's a long forgotten continent called Ashenfall, where the wise old man lives? Question mark? I'm excited. I know Oxie is kind of apprehensive, and I'm interested to see, like, I'm interested to hear what you're apprehensive about. Like, what is giving you the most pause when it comes to this game specifically?
Open world, survival, crafting. Those are 4 words that tend to translate to poorly made cash grab. If it is like Valheim and it is made with the same passion of a game like Valheim, cool. I'm all for it. The little bit I saw on the Steam review page doesn't look anything like RuneScape. And unless it's all based off RS3, which I don't mean to be a dick, that doesn't make any sense. One game has 10,000 concurrent players a week. The other one has 150,000 concurrent players a week. Why wouldn't you base it off of old school? You know, the sound profiles look different. The visuals look different. Like, holy shit, the wise old man's here. It's set on a new continent. Does that tell me that you wouldn't, or couldn't put the effort in to recreate Gielinor in that way? That's what that tells me. That tells me that, like, you wanted to create something new because it was either too much work because you didn't feel like it, or too much work because it wasn't possible for you to do an open world with like Lumbridge, Varrock, Falador, Barbarian Village. 4 major cities on launch with a vast world of space in between them, like an actual like world would be, you know? So like, okay, I'm not a huge fan of that because I'm not optimistic about the genre in general. I like those kinds of games, don't get me wrong. And like, yeah, sure, I'll play it. You know, I have not, in the last several years, I've not seen a game like that come out that is made with the best of intentions with an existing IP. You know, game like Valheim, small indie dev, fun, like some unique gameplay mechanics, some familiar, some unique. RuneScape, Dragon Wilds, you're going to have to impress me. Because if everything is based off of RS3, I don't know what's going on. I don't have a connection to that place. Like, haha, I get it. That's the wise old man. But like, why am I casting a spell to cut down a tree? There's literally a skill that RuneScape damn near created. That's been in every MMO or skilling game forever with woodcutting. Why am I casting a spell like I am in the trailer? The opportunity to have like, and I don't know, this is what throws me off about the whole thing, right? It's like, go into literally any skill. There is a cohesive guide on progression for every single skill in the game that could translate wonderfully to open world survival crafting. If they don't do that, that's a miss, you know? I'm not like overly negative for like, I know it's going to be shit. I think it's going to be terrible. Don't play it. Don't buy it. You're really going to have to impress me off the rip.
Yeah.
You're really going to have to just knock my socks off. Like, I get it. Games aren't always like, they're not complete, but like with a game like that, you add more stuff. Like there's expansions that come out, right? So like yeah, if I can't do Theater of Blood, like I'm not gonna be pissed off about it because I'm gonna be a low level newbie, whoever, like make it fun for a little while, get me to come back later. That design is fine. But like if it's just hey, look, it's a really mid-tier survival game, but it's called RuneScape. No, I'm not gonna waste my time with that. You've already got me hooked on another long-term investment. I'm not gonna waste my time with that. God forbid it's poorly optimized. I don't want to sound hyper negative. I'm definitely
Would you say cautiously optimistic?
no, not even cautiously optimistic.
Just
I am
cautious.
I I'm like, oh boy, you really gotta impress me. That's literally how I feel. You really have to impress me. We're not gonna talk to a JMod who's gonna be like, hey, this isn't fun, don't play this. They're all gonna say, oh my god, it looks cool, it plays cool, it's RuneScape. Oh my god. I feel like, I don't know, man. This genre, open world survival crafting, poorly made cash grab. So hopefully I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Hopefully it's late and I'm cynical and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I've never played Valheim, so I have almost no reference for what this game could be like, which is why I feel like I may be a bit too optimistic. I'm very optimistic, actually.
Valheim is a shit ton of fun, but Valheim was
Okay.
very, very, very primitive when it came out. There's only like
Gotcha.
one boss in Valheim, and once you know how to play Valheim, you can beat the first boss in like the first hour.
Damn.
But again, the objective wasn't to get to end game immediately. Like that was
Yeah.
the end game. Like when it first came out, that's what you could do. But I don't know. Like the game has grown so much where like the Ashlands in Valheim now are, I've never even made it past the damn motor fight, let alone made it out to Ashlands or made it to the far lands, like are coming in the new update. Like that game is now so expansive and a wonderful example of what survival open world crafting can look like.
Mhm.
But I feel like that's the exception, not the rule. Like it is the standard,
Yeah.
which is good and bad, because I feel like if Dragon Wilds is not as good as Valheim, that's what it's being compared to, right? Like if it's not as good as Valheim was on release, not as good as it is now, because obviously things are going to change and get updated and quality of life is going to come out, right? Like, I don't know. I'm very hesitant. That's all I'll say about it. I'm hesitant. Am I going to play it? Yeah, but I'm hesitant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be on in my Steam library. The game that I've been playing the most is obviously old school RuneScape. 10,000 hours in this game over the last like 6 or 7 years. And there's not been another game that has been able to pique my interest quite like RuneScape. And the one exception to that would be Red Dead Redemption 2. But not even to the extent where I've given up RuneScape. Like I played Red Dead Redemption 2 for a couple of months and I will continue to play it. But the game that I'm currently logged into right now is old school RuneScape. Not to say that like this game couldn't become something that I, invest my time into, but when you have such a passion for a game like you do, and most RuneScape players, I don't want to like put everybody in a box, but I think the stereotype when it comes to like RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape players is we tend to just play this game. There is a probably small subset of the community who's like, yeah, I'm a casual RuneScape player, or I take breaks and I play other games. But like, I would say if you're not one of those casual players, you just play RuneScape, and that's fine.
Mhm.
So I would be interested to see how they're going to navigate that aspect of how they split their player base, because obviously they want RuneScape players and old school RuneScape players to play their new game, and they want to attract a new audience of people, but they also don't want to split up the community. Maybe, maybe they have this in mind where like you can play Dragon Wilds and it's one of those games that you can have like two games going and you can be like AFK rune crafting and you can play Dragon Wilds.
I was just
That
that's
would
the
be cool.
thing. Like we already have our second monitor game. Like we have Blood Runes, we have Shooting Stars, we have We got redwoods, our Lord and Savior redwood trees. You know, we got all sorts of stuff. We got Addy plate bodies. Like we can do a lot to AFK in this game and have it open on the side. You know, hell, AFK Slayer, AFK combat training. Like any game you play, you can play RuneScape on the side on. So I wouldn't be as concerned about dividing player base, but I think you're right in that like you're trying to get RuneScape people over here. Like you know how difficult we are to get away from our game. Like what are you doing to get us here? You know, like you bring up a good point. This is RuneScape is our forever game. You know, so you better really knock our socks off. Which like I don't want to sound like such a bitch. You know, like I was talking about it the other day with some friends, and I just sounded so negative, and I really don't want to do that. Like I'm optimistic that I'm gonna be wrong. Like
Mhm.
I'm hopeful that at some point this game is gonna come out, and it is gonna be Valheim levels of fun. It's gonna be like the open world is gonna work, and there's gonna be familiar aspects, and the sound cues are gonna be familiar, and like we're intuitively gonna know what to do as RuneScape players, but there's new layers that are gonna be added and fun and interesting for us to do. Like I'm hopeful the things that would make this a great game in the context of both a great survival game and in the context of a game that seasoned RuneScape players can really enjoy. I'm hopeful that it's everything we want.
Mhm.
I am not optimistic that it's going to be. And that's just from the trends that we've seen in the gaming industry. You know, we are fortunate to have a group of J mods who work on this game to the extent that they do and care about it to the extent that they do. You want to talk about exception, not the rule, you know? Like it might be the same company, but I doubt they're bringing in devs from old school and RS3 who are actively working on projects, you know? Like, hey, I know that's crazy. You're working on Varlamore Part 3 and Vampirium for RS3. What if we just pulled you away from your project and tried to teach you how to learn a whole new coding system to create this 3D game? Have fun. They're not going to do that. They're going to hire new people, you know?
I think that's the interesting thing about Jagex is like you've got all these people under the same roof. If you're going on lunch and you're sitting down and there's a content developer from Dragon Wilds, there's a content developer from RS3, and there's someone from Old School, and they're all having lunch together. Like the worlds in which they're creating and the discussions that they're having are not mutually exclusive to their own games. It's all the lore of Gielinor. So like they could have a conversation around a piece of content and it inspires something that maybe an old school developer said that inspires something for RuneScape 3 and vice versa. And now you add in Dragon Wilds to the mix and it's like, "Hey dude, do you have like 10 minutes after work? I want to show you this thing I'm doing in Dragon Wilds." And the old school guy's like, "Yeah, let's go play it." And he sits down and plays it. He or she, they play it. And now they're like, "Ooh, you could do this, this, and this." So like it's not that I don't think they would like necessarily just pull somebody off the team and be like, your full-time job is Dragon Wilds, but I do think that there is a collective mind that they have of we are in the world of RuneScape and now it's just getting expanded into another kind of genre. And that's kind of where I'm excited that it is being made by Jagex and not some third-party company who licensed the the name RuneScape.
That is true, yeah.
Because if it was just like EA bought a license for RuneScape and we're like, yeah, EA is going to be making this game, I would say you're 100% right. It's a cash
Don't
grab,
even bother, you know?
but Jagex is making it. And they have potentially people that were an old school developer or were an R3 developer and they moved over to the team and now they're working on it. So art styles could be influenced in all three of the games, content, sounds, a lot of stuff. I think you have to kind of lean on that nostalgic. I talk about this a lot and I bring it up whenever something like this gets brought up. But like they can really lean into some of the nostalgic stuff that we're used to when it comes to these two games. Heck, the trailer had an old school like a reorchestrated RuneScape track. Not that it was an old school track. It was like a reorchestrated RuneScape track in one of the trailers. It was like dun 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 dun, but it was like done in like an orchestra or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have beautiful Minecraft style chill lo-fi beats in the background while you're using magic to cut down trees, but it's like a song you're familiar with already. So that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited, is that we are taking something that we already love and they're just translating it into a different genre, which is not always the easiest thing to do. But I do trust Jagex at the end of the day to take care of their IP. They're not banking on just like making sales off of or making money off of pre-sale and then just like dipping. Because Vacant Void in the recording booth said, "I just worry that, like Oxie was saying, is that they're banking that it sells well in the name alone and that it doesn't get developmental focus. That it will be a game with a 2-month lifespan and then they'll drop it. Going based off of similar games, based on beloved IPs, it happens pretty regularly." And I personally would say that the chances of that happening is really, really slim. I think they've they've given us some things that are like concrete. Like it's going to be a community focused game. Whether or not they'll actually poll things like they do in old school, who knows? But they want to develop content based on what the community is saying. I kind of hope that they actually do a polling system. It would be really neat to have that granularity of like these developers are really listening to the people. And I think it would be interesting. Whether or not the community that forms around Dragon Wilds, whether or not they like it, who knows? But I think if you take a community like old school players, it's something we're familiar with doing already. And it's gotten us to this point 10 years, 12 years later. We're still doing the poll system in old school. And it like, it's kept the game going on a path that makes sense for the community. So it could be something that Dragon Wilds does. But like having community focused content could mean anything. Like they could have people closely monitoring the Reddit or the forums, or they could have people play test certain things. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know yet. I think the thing that I'm worried about is that people will see this game in Steam and they'll ignore the fact that this is early access and they'll play it for like, 2 hours and then they'll write it off. When the full release of the game is not slated until like maybe 2026. So we're not going to have full development until probably later next year. Whereas when we get it this spring, it's going to be kind of unfinished.
Then don't release the game. Here's an unpopular gaming opinion. Stop giving me pre-release alpha bullshit. Like, yeah, I know the sailing alpha just happened. That's a little bit different. That's testing a new skill that's coming into an existing game. That's mechanics already work. Stop giving me unfinished bullshit because you want to make money quick. I'm sick of these day one patches. I'm sick of these, oh, sorry guys, it actually isn't optimized for the system that it's supposed to come out for. No, stop it. I'm sick of that shit. If you're going to give me some, well, it's actually in the pre-release version, that's not an excuse for it to suck balls.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like when Ark Survival Evolved came out, Ark, for a time, Ark has been the pinnacle of survival open world crafting. I would obviously you got to put Minecraft up there, but I feel like at this point Minecraft has transcended the genre. When you become the most popular video game ever, you kind of, supersede that. But Ark has been very, very popular and very, very consistently popular. And when it was in that pre-release phase, I remember playing it. I think I downloaded it in January of 2016 after Santa brought me my Xbox One. And I had tried the demo and then I bought it for like $20 because I thought the demo was fun. And like, was it super well optimized? It was good enough. Were the graphics kind of funky? Was the gameplay kind of funky? It was a little bit, but it played well. And it did what it needed to do. You fast forward to the way Ark Survival Ascended looks now, Like, okay, cool, it's a graphical update, but it's horrible. Ark Survival Ascended relative to what Ark Survival Evolved was, it feels like it's been a colossal fumble of this game,
Mm,
because you like, and they even came out and said, they're like, hey, we need money for Ark 2. So we're re-releasing this game. We said, all right, cool. That's fine with us. And then it just hasn't been good. They haven't listened to the community. There's still a bunch of like game breaking bugs in it. It doesn't even work on my computer. That's why you guys have not heard me talk about Ark in a year. I can't run the
yeah,
damn game on my PC, So
that
like
sucks.
it does. And like you look at that game and then you look at another game like Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet are the worst examples of a video game released by not even a AAA company, the AAA company. Scarlet and Violet are products of the largest IP in the world. And I saw a video about this not too long ago that was like every single other piece of Pokemon anything is incredible. Look at the trading cards. Look at the merch. Go to a Pokemon Center and look at the detail that is crafted. Look at the animes and how well all these things are made. And then you look at the games. What? What a dump! Scarlet and Violet was a dumpster fire. I'm not even optimistic that ZA isn't going to be a dumpster fire when it comes out. Like stop doing this to us. Stop saying early release, pre-release. It's in the beta. No, fuck you. Give me a completed game. What's on the tin is in the game. It's not broken.
Yeah,
Just give me a
yeah.
game that works. So this whole like, well, we got to be patient with them because if it doesn't work, no, that even grinds my gears even more. Because if I log in and this game plays like ass, but it has a nice reorchestrated version of Dream in there, that's not going to be enough to keep me around. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not going to be enough. This game has to absolutely bang to keep me around.
I don't want to drag Andrew Gower, and I'm not. This is not a drag to Andrew Gower, but it kind of happened to me with Brighter Shores. This whole like pre-release like alpha thing, the whole discussion of
Did you play Brighter Shores?
yeah, for a few hours, but it wasn't fun. Just
Yikes.
like yeah, cuz like you would go into the menu and it would say like this is coming soon, or it would be things that I would want and it'd be like this is coming soon. We're going to have this later. I'm like, "Well, I'm playing right now." And I have no frame of reference for what soon is. So you take a game that people are playing and you just don't have the features that they want, well then why'd you release the game?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it doesn't happen with Dragon Wilds. And honestly, like this discussion has maybe convinced me to not play the early access just for that reason. For the like to just put the disappointment aside before it even happens and wait until the full release of the game next year and like have a fresh set of eyes.
I mean, I don't want to be that negative about it though. I don't want to be so negative that I take away your ability to enjoy the game. Like I don't want to do that to you guys listening, but like there has not been a positive trend in the last
Yeah.
several years. Like everything that has come out has kind of been a bit of a total shit show. You know what else is probably not going to live up to the hype? Totally unrelated. GTA 6.
Really?
Oh my god, are you kidding? GTA 6 and Elder Scrolls 6 are going to be the two biggest disappointments of our generation.
I mean,
100%.
GTA 6 is just kind of a meme at this point for me. I see people are like, wait, we got this, and this before we got GTA 6. We got, if that's the meme, then yes. If that's the expectation, yes. There's going to be some disappointment when you're like, we got flying cars before we got GTA 6. Yeah, like GTA 6 is probably going to suck because all the expectation of these last, what, like 12, 20 years? I don't know how long it's been since GTA 5. It's been a long
Actually,
time.
GTA 5 was like 2013. I remember because when I was a senior in high school, my buddy and I were allowed to buy it, but our other friend Owen couldn't. So he had to give our other friend the money, and like he had to sit in the car, and we were all making fun of him because he wasn't 17 when GTA 5 came out. So because he was born in October and the game came out in like September or something like that. So we were like, "Do you want to drive through McDonald's and get a Happy Meal on the way home?" He's like, "Shut up, guys! I turned 17 in 3 weeks."
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's just thinking critically, because you're like, I don't want to stop you from like having the joy of playing it. Like, you're just thinking critically about it. Yes, like we could just play it and give feedback. That's an option. But the other option is just to not play it and wait for the full release and not necessarily a guinea pig, but like not be an unplayed playtester, I guess. It's okay to not do that. The only thing that would get me to actually play is the understanding that Jagex is passionate about it and they're going to listen to people's feedback and they're going to make improvements based on what people say, because I know that they do that. They've done that since the beginning. Yeah, they didn't really listen. They didn't really listen to people back in the day.
this is a different team though. Like
It's not a
I would almost
totally
be-
different team
I mean,
that it's going to
kind
be.
of.
Sure, it's a different developmental team. But like I mentioned before, I think that Jagex as a company has values that they look for when it comes to hiring people to develop their games. So it's not going to be so wildly different that it's unrecognizable from the other two games that they have.
The trailer sure as fuck made it seem that way. I gotta level with you. Unless it is all RS3, they used all the armor, all the spells, all the sound profiles. Other than the main theme, other than Skate Main and the Wise Old Man, I did not recognize a single thing that I looked at that and thought, holy shit, that's RuneScape. I'm sorry. Like, and this is where I think it's annoying that we're going to a different continent. If you want to play off that nostalgia piece while adding a bunch of new things in, why don't you redesign Lumbridge? Put the castle in, but expand the city a little bit. Make it seem like an actual place to go visit. Like, yes, the castle is the same. There's the north and the south stairs, but now there's a bunch of different buildings to go into. Make Varrock more fleshed out than what it is right now. Most of Varrock is just empty buildings.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do with the stories and things like that that are not just the same rehashed RuneScape stories. And I get it. You want to be in a new continent because you want to like take that pressure off yourself to like, oh, well, this didn't happen in old school. This didn't happen in RS3. What the hell? It's like in that regard, I get it. You want that kind of like developmental freedom. Same time though, I don't know. I think that's where I'm just thrown, dude. I don't know. I'm cautious. Not even
it's okay to be-
cautiously optimistic. Just cautious.
It's okay to be cautious, because I'm cautious, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm one level above in getting, I'm one level closer to buying it and playing it.
The thing is, it's not even that I'm not going to play it, right? Like, ideally, I'll play it. Like, what happens with these things is like when Brighter Shores came out. Like, yeah, Brighter Shores seems fun. Brighter Shores was right around the time of the like. Not only were we coming off of our like goals episode, it was also during the membership debacle.
Brighter Shores was like the week before Leagues. That's why a lot of people didn't play it.
Was it really?
Yeah. It came out mid-November or like late October.
Yeah, November 6th, 2024. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a terrible time to release that game.
They didn't do good at all with the
That's
release date on that one.
time to release that game. Actually, holy shit. That's why I didn't play it. I guess that really puts it into perspective. Literally would have been 9 days before Leagues came out. That's crazy.
And we were mid bingo too. Or just we just ended bingo.
We were mid bingo. We were, because it started on November 1st. We were mid bingo, right? Yeah, like literally it either happens where like other things are going on in the main game, or I'm so burnt that I don't even want to bother. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know. It's just, that's kind of where I sit with it,
Yeah. This conversation is happening now, and it could be months and months and months before we even see the game. But like, who knows? It could, you know what? They could surprise us and be like, "Hey, next week, Dragon Wilds pre-release, early access," and then we'll have more conversation.
No pre-release, no early access. Say,
They're
hey
already doing
guys,
it.
we're taking the pre-release date away and we're pushing it to February of 2026. This is to give you a completed game experience. While we can't promise the game will like games break, people break shit. It happens. But this is going to be a completed game. Could you imagine the hype that would bring? This is going to be a completed game. Are you kidding me? That'd be crazy. That would make me hype enough alone to get it. I put the pre-order in right now.
The idea is not for it to be ever completed. I would hope. I think that the idea with this is like they would just continue to expand it. But I don't know. Your statement doesn't lock them out of that. Saying it's a completed game doesn't lock them
There's
out.
a difference
but
between
I know what you mean.
being completed and having additional content. Back in the day, when you bought a game for your Xbox or your PlayStation or your Nintendo Wii, the game was completed, but they
Yeah.
always had DLC content that came along with it. Who remembers the old map packs from the Halo games? Who remembers the old map packs from the Call of Duty games? Remember them old Call of Duty Black Ops expansions would come out? You get 4 new multiplayer maps and a brand new zombies experience, which were often the highlight. I don't even remember the maps that came with the DLC, but you bet your ass I remember Ascension. You bet your ass I remember Call of the Dead. Like, those are great expansions to an already completed game.
Mhm.
That is like the game does not break. There is no day one patch. There is no ooh whoopsie, sorry, we're doing Steam refunds. No. The game is done. Go ahead and add whatever other done content you want to it after the fact. That's totally fine. The pinnacle example of a great, fully completed game in the last several years that has received numerous updates just for quality of life is what, Michael? Say it with me.
Oh.
Oh, that game came out in such a clean state of being that they're still updating shit. They're like, here's the deal. We don't know what else to do. So, like, here's a mod pack. Here's like official mod support. We don't care. Whatever. Have fun. Like, it's hard to polish perfection. So go give Withers big naturals. Like that is a completed game. And no, that's not a standard that is too high for games to achieve. That should be the standard, not the gold standard. That is the standard of video game. That's going to cost me what was 60 and is now, thanks to Nintendo, going to be 100 in the next couple of years.
I hate it.
Oh my god,
Bro,
the
they're
Switch
high on their
2
own supply.
like the Switch 2 itself, like $450 is a pretty reasonable price for a console these days. Like, yeah, it's expensive.
That bitch is worth $299.
Well, I saw someone do the conversion that like in 2008, the Nintendo Wii was $250. Adjusted for inflation, $450 is about $250 in 2008. So we're paying what feels like about the same amount of money. We just live in a capitalist hellscape. So like, yes, like 450, that's about the cap that I would pay. I don't think I'd pay any more. Honestly, it's a lot, but I think whatever, it's fine. The game prices are what kill me. I cannot justify $90 for a physical copy of a Pokemon game after the last Pokemon game was as catastrophically disgusting as it was.
Yeah.
It was like, I get it. It's still like competitive and people still play that game. You guys got to admit it was not good. You know?
I
Like-
agree. I didn't play it, but like the whole it's going to be $90. Huh? $60 is pushing it for me. 60 is pushing it.
And they're not even done. That's the worst part. If the games were done, you know, like if they were done and they were getting better and they were constantly improving, like, okay, you've convinced me. Here's $70. I really like the games that you've put out so far. Horrible.
Especially when like places like GameStop and anywhere that you could trade them in or sell them back are basically going away. So you're going to have a $90 game with a few hundred hours of content. And then what are you going to do later? I know that that's kind of how it always has been, but there was always an avenue where you could trade in your games or you could sell them. The market for like physical copies was pretty big. I don't really want to get into Nintendo right now because it just capitalism. Hate it. Makes me mad.
I don't know. Buy physical media, folks. Full stop.
Because it's gonna go away. Yeah, like so we're gonna get into it.
Did you see that Ubisoft shit? Oh my god. Go ahead. Pop off, King. What you got?
There's been so many companies who have put in their terms and conditions. It's like you are just paying for the rights to like rent this game, or you don't fully own it. We're in the age of you don't own digital media. You own the right to license it from us, basically. I don't even know if that's the right term, but like your digital media is subject to a terms and conditions that says we could take this away from you at any time. You don't actually own it. If our servers go down or we stop supporting the places that this is stored, you don't own it. You can't download it. So if Disney, if you bought a movie from Disney and they take it out of their servers, you no longer have access to it, but you purchased it. Music that you buy, if Spotify goes away or if Apple goes away, all the music you purchased from those people, those companies, that go away. But if you own the CD or you own CDs, who listens to CDs? If you own the DVDs, if you have the physical files downloaded to your computer somewhere for the MP3s, you're good. They're yours. But that's just not the age we're in currently. That ship has sailed, unfortunately. But I think it could come back. We could have like a digital renaissance, a rebirth of physical media again someday. You guys can't see it, but like I have a bunch of DVDs in my shelves back there, and they're all DVDs that my family has had for like decades. That my dad and my mom, they're like, we're getting rid of these. We're just gonna donate them or have a garage sale. And I like picked out all the ones that I really like, and I'm just gonna have like a big bookcase of DVDs and nothing to watch them on. Oh well, actually no, I have a PS4, so that'll play DVDs. But say Netflix goes away, say all the streaming services go down. What are you gonna watch?
What a day!
Oxie's
what a day when
right.
that happens. What a day that I can't. Oh my god!
Yeah.
It's almost as if like people they feel they're like they're reinventing cable in the stupidest way possible.
Oh
like,
god!
what if all the
dude.
shows were actually just on one place, and instead of paying for a subscription service, we just paid a monthly fee and we just got ads every time, like every couple of minutes? You fucking idiots! That's how television works.
That's how television was.
Like it's
Yeah.
ugh.
They had movie channels, and like you would just hit record on your TiVo, and then when you wanted to watch it later, you would just hit play. And the great thing about TiVo was if you recorded it and you wanted to watch it later, you could just go bloop 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 and fast forward through the commercials. My family growing up,
you remember the old sound?
yeah,
Bloop, 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 bloop.
it's
Oh my god!
it's in there somewhere.
Beautiful.
My family, we had TiVo, and we would never watch something on the night it came out. We would always watch it the day after because we're like, it's recording right now. We're just gonna watch it and then skip the commercials every single time. Like as a kid, I never really had to worry about commercials. It was wonderful. We've gotten on.
We really have gotten on a total tangent. This is what happens when we
huge
do not have content planned. It's frustrating.
It's fine.
You know, we are we are lucky for the game that we have where we don't have to worry about most of this bullshit. The trade-off is that someday the sun will set on the scape, but that's a conversation for another time.
I don't think the sun will ever set on RuneScape or old school RuneScape. I just think that the sun will set on Jagex and somebody will revive it in a way that we can all continue to play it in their nursing home. Like whether it's an offline version, whether it's something to where you load up a server with all your old geezer friends and you know, you guys are on your you're on your 2035 MacBook Pros that you got and it's barely holding on. It has to stay on the charger, but it's got the RuneScape on it. You know, somebody will make a private server we all can keep playing on. Community servers. is the word I was looking for the
I
other
knew
day.
you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say it too.
Community
What
servers.
about Project Zenaris?
No. I'm not even referencing Project Zenaris. I'm saying the other day I was using another phrase for and I was trying to avoid saying private server, and they're called community servers. I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was saying personal servers or something. I can't remember.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, big dog.
Really? You called me
Yeah.
out. This is what you get for not, this is what happens when you don't edit. Kind of the words just go into the microphone. You don't hear them again. I hear everything twice, so I'm like really thinking about it. Like, what is it called? I'm sitting there editing the podcast. I'm like, what are they called? Oh, community servers. That's what they're called. Couldn't think of that in the moment. I do think this is a good time as we come out of a tangent. If you guys are still listening, we're going to send you off to break. And we're going to come back with some like focused and precise content after this break. See you in a bit.
Damn desk is always full of papers ever since he rolled it. Oh, didn't see you there. Good day to you, mate. My name's Herman Karanos, founder and director of this here Piscatoris fishing colony. We don't get too many visitors way up here, but I'm glad you stopped in. Stick around for a bit, I'll be more than happy to give you a tour.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important safety announcement. Attention. This is a message from the Gillinor Protection Agency. We have received unconfirmed reports of a dangerous anomaly located off the southwestern coast of continental Gillinor. Preliminary data suggests a large, winged, serpentine-like creature, although exact descriptions of its coloration and pattern have been inconsistent. The creature has been sighted in bodies of water that have historically been classed as toxic to most forms of life. It is unknown whether the creature can live out of water at this time. No data from the fossil record matches these early reports, and therefore the Gillinor Protection Agency has classed this creature as a biosynthetic anomaly, rating hyperlethal. All cognitively sentient races within the immediate vicinity of the reported anomaly are advised to evacuate the area and remain inland until the Gillinor Protection Agency can identify, confirm, contain, or destroy the anomaly. If you come into contact, do not engage with the anomaly. Close your eyes and keep still. The creature may leave you alone. Please await further instructions. The Gillinor Protection Agency thanks you for your cooperation. You will now be returned to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
After all that, you still want to stick around? Well, glad to have you on board then, mate. We'll get you started here shortly and you'll be a fisherman in no time.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's a part of the show. We're going to take a few minutes to thank our patrons who support us on our Patreon. This portion of the episode is usually dedicated to the folks who have are newly subscribed to the Wise Old Man tier, but we don't have any new Wise Old Man patrons. So on the screen now is all of our current Wise Old Man patrons, and we love you so much. Thank you for all that you guys do for us monetarily, your involvement in the community, everything. We love hanging out with you guys as the Wise Old Man tier in the recording booth. We see you guys in our extra episode streams, Patreon streams. It's all great. So thank you to the Wise Old Man tier for supporting us. Moving on now to the KBD tier. These folks are actually going to get their names shouted out each and every week that they're subscribed. And thank you so much for everything you also do for the show. We appreciate you. So thank you and big shout out to 6, Brooks, 70, Dixon, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, Cider, Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Dr. Muffin, PhD. That's a new one this week. Thank you, Dr. Muffin. Elite Oreo Dunker, Jax GIM, JX Riot, Little Drakey. Wait, I said little. Lil Drakey, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Rod Metal 15, Rylithian, The Big G, Jordy, and Warbatronic. That is our KBD tier. You guys are fantastic. The OG highest tier. Now not the highest tier, but still highest tier in our hearts. Thank you. Thank you, KBD tier, for all of your support. Moving on now to our final shout out tier, and that is the Jad tier, the big bad Jads. This tier is pretty unique in the fact they get some merch. I don't think we have anybody right now who is like potentially close to receiving merch, but every 3 months that you are consecutively subscribed, you receive that tier of merch. So that like quarter, I don't know how they do it. Basically, every 3 months you get a shirt. They send it to you. We don't do anything other than design it, but we do give you guys a shout out in the Jad tier, and you're amazing. Thank you so much. And big shout outs to Captain Crash, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Petite River, Rackroll, the S tier Deviled Egg, and Woloznik. That's our Jad tier, folks. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so by heading to the link in the description, patreon.com/Xpwaste. We have a lot of other tiers, 2 to be exact, that we don't shout out. But hey, you know what? Shout out to the Gnome Child tier and shout out to Party Pete. Everybody gets a shout out this episode. If you subscribe at the Party Pete tier, you're going to have access to our Patreon stream that we do once a month, every third Friday of the month. And you're going to have access to our backlog of extra episodes, as well as all of the monthly streams that we've done up until this point. So if you want to support, again, you can head on over to patreon.com/XPWaste. And we'll see you guys there. Moving on over now to our community question. Last week was a fun one. We asked you guys about potentially making some weapons or armor OP. And specifically, we asked, what is one weapon or piece of armor that you could make completely OP by either a stat boost or a benefit that gets attached? So on our Spotify, there's a few here, and starting at the top, Swole says, I'm thinking we get the barrel chest anchor and give it a KO spec. It doesn't insta-kill your opponent, it just knocks them out unconscious. It knocks them unconscious for 6 ticks, and they can't move or react, and you can negate it by praying melee. But if you don't, you're just out, and your opponent can spec you out. Works on bosses as well, like General Grador. Bonk, no issue. Verzik, bonk. Now I can see what's under there.
Hey, yo, Swole. That's what I'm talking about.
Swole does not disappoint. He does not disappoint. Oh, gosh. Next up, Dinosaur says, back in 2010 or 2011, in the original RuneScape, Jagex added a new magic set called Ganodermic. Ganodermic? Yeah, that's how you say it. Ganodermic. This set introduced damage absorption to the game. You would just straight up take like 30% reduced damage in PVM, like that insane sigil from Deadman. Adding something like that to Ancestral or Virtus would be nutty. Yeah, Fear said that's the one. Ganodermic. Next up, Bionicle 1204 in-game. Upgrade the Ivan staff so that every 5th hit has 100% accuracy, and it negates protection prayers and deals 3 times the damage at the cost of 10 times the runes required. Sheesh. So every 5th hit, you just use 10 times the amount of runes, but it deals 3 times your max hit at 100% accuracy. That could be nutty. That's OP. Definitely OP. Next up, Aiden says, make the Kodai hit large targets multiple times with ancient magic spells, similar to the Scythe. Whoa, okay. Hello, Mega Rare. That would be kind of cool. Next up, Fizzman15 says, they could change darts so that when you throw them, so not in the bullet pipe, they become a death-touched dart with the ability to insta-kill enemies up to a certain HP, depending on the type of dart. Maybe bronze works up to 5 HP, scaling to dragon that works like something stupid like 100 HP. That would be nutty. With how fast you can throw those, that would be nutty. They would have to add a cooldown. Like, You throw one every 6 ticks or something. But holy cow.
Slayer would be fucking cracked.
It would be. I don't think like enemies would not respond fast enough for you to continuously like machine gun them. But if you get in a place like I don't know, like neck reels, just like almost one hit them, that's insane. Next up though, Shady Matt says you can now use Claws of Callisto on the bear head to create a bear preacher veil, which has a special effect called Worship that when activated causes Callisto to automatically targets with a skull above their head and constantly hits them for 50 plus damage until they die.
I love
Also,
that.
it looks sick AF. That's the Church of Bear for you. Though that would be very OP. It would have to have like a massive cooldown. Like you could use it once every 6 hours or something. But next up, though, Nate Dogg says breaking the twin flame staff. Allow it to cast Wrath Rune spells, and whenever it rolls a max hit with an elemental weakness, fire an additional projectile that rolls damage and accuracy independently, and it adds 1 tick to your attack cooldown. Rolling another max hit continues the chain. Ooh. So you just like chain fire, chain rapid fire, not even rapid. It was like you just continuously hitting max. That's sick. That would be sick. Next up, Rambo's granddad says, bring Nature's Reprisal to the main game with Raging Echoes Tier 4 Magic Combat Mastery. So they want the Tier 4 Magic Combat Mastery and Nature's Reprisal. Dare I say, OP. That's going to do it for Spotify. Some honorable mentions that weren't related to the community question. Rummy Tumble says, is Roger an NPC? In quotations. The slander against my boy, SMH. Apparently I am receiving heat because I didn't know that Roger, the crocodile, was an NPC. Alex says jobs are XP waste. And I do just want to announce officially, I got a job. So, woohoo! I don't know what like the game plan is for like going back to a setup where we're both editing. Ox is a very busy boy. So is he going to have time to edit? Who knows? Am I going to be the full-time editor? Who knows? We have to talk about it. But I start later this month. And I'm very excited. Finally on Spotify though, for the honorable mentions, Jacob says, Jagex shouldn't care about people's in-game GP investments. The mentality of item equals XGP should not dictate Jagex integrity changes. I hard agree. I've always agreed with that mentality of like, just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's untouchable. I think Oxie probably disagrees, but this is not the forum to, he's so shrugging. Okay, he's shrugging. Okay. 50-50. But this is not the place to get into that. Maybe that could be an episode topic one day. Who knows? What we are going to talk about, though, is the community question on YouTube. We have a couple of replies here where we ask the same question. What is one weapon or piece of armor that you can make completely OP by either a stat boost or a benefit that gets attached? Gunner says, current shadow stats, throw away the current passive. New passive, stand your ground, always be casting. Every attack you make will increase the max hit and the accuracy by X amount or by percentage, stacking infinitely. If you stop attacking for 2 ticks or every 2 ticks after, you lose your current stacks. So on a 5-tick weapon, if you don't attack on tick 7, you lose 25% of your stacks every tile you move. Will be worse than saying without a first couple of stacks, but after it flies to the moon. The TOA buff is the movement loss doesn't exist. I was going to say, you're moving so much in TOA that would kind of suck. Like you can't butterfly. As Wardens is essentially null and void.
You don't lose ticks butterflying though.
You lose ticks with the stacks if you move though. This thing is like this. His new mechanic is if you stand still.
Does it have to be standing still or is it losing ticks?
It's the stand your ground, always be casting. Every attack you make will increase the max hit and accuracy. If you stop attacking for 2 ticks or 2 ticks, you lose. Okay, I guess it is just stop attacking.
To me, that sounds like tick loss. But even if we said you can't move, right? You still butterfly in TOA because the other X amount of people who are there in the corner are just dumpstering Akka the entire time because you just sit still. Like,
Yep.
do you imagine you got one guy on the shadow, or even like you do one guy with like an Ivan's blast, like the 4-tick butterfly with a Sang staff or something like that, and everybody else, all the shadow havers are just like in the middle nuking the shit out of Akka. Like, if you can't move, you know how dangerous the melee hand guy is going to be at Chambers with a shadow and the melee hand cripples?
Oh, right. At that point, you would just balance it to where one person's running the head. Maybe you're dealing with specials, but you have people on the sides shadowing it. The mechanics would probably have to change if there was a movement buff or like nerf.
But
you're right.
If there's a
There's a
movement
lot you could
restriction, you still get a shitload of damage in a lot of places. Like,
Yeah.
if you can't
Yeah.
move, I'm trying to picture like Zulra's capped at 50, but if your max hits a 400, you're probably going to roll 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 pretty regularly. You know?
True.
So like Shadow becomes best in slot at a lot of places where you just don't move, you know? Maybe at that point,
Groups of shadows too.
well, maybe
You
at
know,
that
like you have-
point, if your magic accuracy and damage increases exponentially every time you stay still, maybe it's a fight like Phantom Muspa where you just wear full Justiciar and the mage accessories
Yeah.
and you just tank that shit because you're hitting 200s on Muspa. You know?
It does say stacking infinitely, so like there's really no cap. It's just the amount of time, like how much can you tank, really? So that's a good one. I think that would be a fun mechanic for like a league.
And
if they had a weapon that did that in the league.
Isn't a movement restriction, if it really is, just don't lose ticks. That's busted.
Yeah, busted. Definitely. Moving on now, though. Melvin Man, he says, give the stale baguette a guaranteed KO if you hit an opponent the same tick that they eat. And the solution to fixing the shadow, reduce its damage by 1% for every prayer point, run energy, and spec energy the user has remaining. Reduce its damage by 1% for every prayer point, run energy, and spec that the user has remaining. Interesting. That's not computing in my mind. I'd have to see it on paper, but
Yeah, it seems like if you have 99 prayer, full run, full spec, shadow doesn't hit.
yeah. How is that a fix? It's
Takes
just
the
making
shadow out of it.
worthless.
Shadow's no longer a problem child.
That's true. That's true. We got a couple more here on YouTube. Next up, Rotis. I don't know if this is Otis, but it's Rotis. They say, for my weapon, I'd choose the Dragon Longsword. Dragon Longsword and Dragon Dagger were my first OMG weapons way back when. I still feel the nostalgia when I use the Dragon Dagger plus, but can't be bothered to use the Longsword. My benefit would be a spinning spec hitting everything within one tile in every direction, with the hit being a 100% guaranteed max divided equally among every NPC being hit. Wow.
It's actually
That would
pretty
go
goated
hard.
That's pretty goated for 1v1 combat. A guaranteed max hit. If you're just like in front of your like one opponent, that's actually nutty.
Yeah. It would also go pretty hard, like if you wanted to use it, if you've got a bunch of enemies like Dagonoths or Anku, like AFK Slayer would go pretty hard with that one too.
They go pretty hard in PvP, actually.
PvP would be massive. They would probably have to do reduced max hit, but still, like if you're being surrounded by a bunch of people, you just want to knock them all out, give them the old tornado twist. That would be cool.
I'm still just thinking because like the way this has got to be Otis, right? Like the way that he's described it, it's every enemy in front of you. It's a guaranteed max hit divided by the amount of enemies. So theoretically, if there's only one person in front of you and your max hits a 60, that's a guaranteed KO.
Sure.
Like you get someone to like 30 HP and you drop that Dragon Longsword spec, you don't really eat out of that. That's a guaranteed KO.
True.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty massive. Damn. Well, there is one more here on YouTube, and it comes from Phil. He says, make the Fang 4-tick. Simply put, make the Fang 4-tick, and that would be OP. It really would.
Yeah.
I think no one would use a whip ever. So
I think the Fang single-handedly outdoes almost every single melee weapon. If you're not in a niche situation at that point, that'd be crazy.
that would be kind of cool. That's going to do it for the community question, folks. Thank you so much to everyone who answered last week's question. If you want to answer this week's question, it's going to be, if you could take the RuneScape genre, just the name RuneScape, the themes, the world, whatever it is, and translate it to a game that's not a survival crafting game, what would that look like? Let us know. You can answer that in the comment section on Spotify or under the pinned comment on this YouTube video. Somebody in the comments of this YouTube video, last week's video, they said, "Where pinned comment, Michael?" Bro, I do this like I'm a single mother and I work too hard. Okay, I can't do everything. I wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning on Thursday. The episode's already been out for several hours. And like sometimes I just forget to post the pinned comment on the premiere video. Okay, I'm sorry. Can't do everything.
Remember, I got
Single
yelled at
mom
for
who
that.
works too hard.
Can't you do it ahead of time?
You can, but sometimes I forget. Single mom who works too hard, loves her kids, but just,
I think it's works 2 jobs.
single mom who works 2 jobs, love her kids,
Never
And-
stops.
never stops. I never stop. It is 2 jobs. Thank you, Tiki. Anyway, that's going to do it for community question. You can answer under the pinned comment because it'll be there. This is editing Michael's reminder to make the pinned comment. Oxie, it is your turn. I'm going to throw it over to you now for achievement of the week.
Indeed, it is. As a fun little update, just for Michael, I'm 65K away to 93 fire making. So these episodes are doing me a lot of favors. We have a lot of things going on this week. Combat section went absolutely insane this week. So we're going to start off with the skilling section, actually, because I do this section and I make the rules. So, kicking us off in the skilling section this week, Emerald N13 achieved 99 range and 99 HP at the exact same time. Raccoon achieved 99 fire making and 99 wood cutting. Don't listen to what they say. Raccoon wood cutting is one of the best skills in the game. Fish also achieved 99 wood cutting. Dr. Muffin PhD, I assume, earned 99 cooking. He just sort of posted a picture of his cooking cape, untrimmed. I assume it's 99 cooking. Speaking of cooking, Chef Boyardee achieved 99 hunter. Corpse Duster achieved 99 slayer. B Daddy Casper achieved 99 fletching. Fumble Swing achieved 99 hunter. Bob Dole achieved 99 construction. Wheat Toast achieved 99 agility. The Pistachio Paladin achieved 99 range. Ninja Crumpet achieved 99 strength. And Splicer achieved 99 wood cutting. We were doing a lot of wood cutting this week, folks. And then additionally in the skilling category, we hear from him every so often when he has another absolutely cracked achievement. Furry Wall has achieved 200 mil range XP. That is his 5th 200 mil. So I'm sure in a couple of months we'll hear from him again here very soon. Moving on over to the miscellaneous category, only 2 achievements this week. Bussy Baron or Bussy Baron, depending on how you want to pronounce it, got their quest cape this week. And then Neatsies, Riley, got his 20-year cape in RS3, if you can believe it. So always cool to see. Moving on over to the combat category, you guys went absolutely insane this week. I don't know what was in the water and why I didn't get a taste of it because you guys went insane. In the combat category this week, Iron Burps got his first fire cape. Congratulations to you, Iron Burps. In the vein of firsts, Steel Beams, who was on my tile race team, who I'm pretty sure did this right before the tile race ended, got Zulra killed for the first time. Shout out to you, Steel Beams. And then Diesel Time and Diggy NP both killed Gauntlet for the first time. Additionally, with his second entry and achievement of the week this week, the Pistachio Paladin got his Missouri kit this week. And I got to level with you guys. It just keeps getting crazier. It just keeps, like, we're starting off. We're pretty level. We got a first fire cape. We got some Zulra. We got some Gauntlet. We got a Missouri kit. Both Indoor Kite and Thermostrike both got their Denzana's quivers this week, which the jealousy is real. I know I'm there. I've been here before. I've played these games before. I know I'm close, but I'm still envious and proud of you guys for getting your quivers done. Speaking of kits that just keep bringing achievement of the week up and up and up, Toddy, a member of my tile race team, and Cloudwin, one of our lead boss tutors, both of them got Blorva this past week. They both got Blorva. I don't know how many orbs it took Toddy. I don't remember looking, but I think Cloud said he got it in like 112, which is like pretty solid. So I think I might be the only person involved in a lead boss tutor program who does not have Blood Torva at this point, which I think is kind of funny.
Blood
'Cause I
Torva,
helped.
Quiver, Masters.
Yup. Yeah, of course. Michael said it. Tiki said it. Or a Quiver. Yeah, I know. I still don't have a Quiver, you guys. I'm a shitter. I get it. But yes, it's very cool to see that achievement. It's just, I don't know. Blood Torva is going to be sick. I'll have it one day. You guys are going to look cool as hell in the meantime, though. And then finally, the pinnacle, what I always love shouting out in the combat achievements portion of Achievement of the Week. We got 4 of them.
What?
If you can believe it. We got 4 of them in
Damn.
1 week. Lagging, Clogs Please, Main Sequence, and Coach Beard. All 4 of those esteemed gamers got their Infernal Capes this week. Now, some of them, it's not necessarily their first, right? Like Coach Beard got it on his main like a year or 2 ago, and then got it on his iron, which is still equally as stressful, you know? But like, it doesn't matter, you know? You've got it. You've earned it for the first time on that account. It's yours. Nobody can take that away from you, you know? It's a wonderful thing to have the Inferno done because it's so much easier the second time. I say having planked so many times in the Inferno post cape, but congratulations, folks. You can play the game. I say it every time we have an Infernal cape. There's literally nothing that is going to be as stressful. If you got your Infernal cape before your Quiver, I promise you, I'm in the thick of it right now. It's not as hard.
Into
The Quiver is not as difficult. I've not done Blood Torva. Blood Torva cannot be as hard as the Inferno. And I don't mean mechanically difficult. I mean mentally taxing. I promise you, you guys are not going to have to go through that again. And that's huge for you guys. That is Achievement of the Week, though, this week. I'm very proud of everyone who absolutely popped off in the combat achievements portion this week and in all the portions. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about it, head over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the levels and achievements chats. There are so many achievements that we don't shout out week to week that are not 99s, that are not Infernal Capes, that are not Quest Capes, that are still worthy of being achievements. Somebody posted in the chat they got their first Barrows KC, and I swear to God, it actually led to an interesting conversation between like higher leveled players in the chat talking to this person after getting their first Barrows KC. So when I tell you, literally every achievement is worth posting about. If you think it's cool and want to post it, come tell us about it. We have objectively the best old school RuneScape community in the world, and we're gonna gas you guys up for it. And normally we talk about the Sunday Raiders, and you'd think at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time on a Sunday that they wouldn't be here. Sure enough, we got Raiders in there. They're running TOA right now. But come hang out, you guys. Objectively, the best RuneScape Discord in the world. With that, though, that's going to be the end of Achievement of the Week. And that is going to welcome in the fun question. Michael, in the essence of returning to form, do you have a fun question for us this week?
Yeah, I got one.
Hell yeah. What do you got?
This was posted in the Xpwaste chat, and I took a little screenshot and I posted it in the fun questions section, which if you're not a patron, you don't have access to. But I put them here simply so we can keep track of everything. But this comes from Nice Sniffer. It says, thought up a fun question for you gentlemen. Imagine, once you achieve 99 Slayer, thematic Slayer helm upgrades with special effects are added to the reward shop. Examples could be a KBD Slayer helm lights on fire and provides full dragon breath protection when worn, or the Calphite Slayer helm drips venom and has a 100% chance to inflict venom on hit. You may only pick one Slayer helm with a special effect as it binds to your account forever. What Slayer helm would you guys pick, and what would be the upgraded special effect? Okay, so this question really draws on fashion and function, which is hard. If it's a shitty looking helmet, I'm not gonna want it. even if it has a really cool effect. But damn, you take KBD, one of my favorite helms, and you give it an effect like unlimited and like full dragon breath protection. I think that it's not a strong enough, unlock for me to pick it. But it would be really cool if you had another effect. So if you're going off of the boss that drops the head and you kind of theme your answer around it, he does a freeze attack, he does a venom attack, he does a fire attack, and a stat draining attack. So what if you have slight boosts for each of those actions? So if you say it's like 50% or it's the equivalent of a dragon fire shield when you're wearing the helmet, it'll boost your freeze timer if you're wearing it. It will have a 20% chance of venoming, because I think 100% is really strong, especially for like a side effect of a helmet. Maybe even like 5%. Something simple where you don't have to put scales in it or anything, but as long as you're wearing it, it has a slight chance to venom. And then if you have a stat draining weapon or mechanic or spell, it's just going to boost the accuracy of that action. So it gives you 4 kind of small things, but it's thematic to KBD. And I think I would pick that helmet.
What just came to mind for me is you just call the effect mirror back.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
the Araxite Slayer helmet, as long as you're wearing it, you reflect damage back to your enemy.
Okay.
Just
that's
period.
Cool.
Does whatever, what does the mirror back spider reflect? OSRS?
10%, I think.
Let's see. Yep, you're right. It will redirect 20% of the damage dealt to a Raxor towards themselves and a further 50% recoil of that damage to the player. So if you hit 100 on a Raxor, 20% of that is going to get dealt to the mirror back, and then 50% of that's going to get dealt to you. So it's essentially 10%. You're right. That's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
If you stack that with like Vengeance,
Ooh.
that's crazy good, actually. So
is it damage that you deal?
No, damage dealt to you.
Dealt
it's a
to
defensive.
you.
It's a defensive Slayer helmet.
So it's like a recoil. It's like an infinite recoil. You don't need a suffering
but absolutely cracked with the
way
benefits
better
of the Slayer helm.
Yeah.
So like
damn.
picture how powerful that would be at a boss where you take like chip damage at.
Yeah.
You know? Like picture how powerful that is at a boss like Cerberus. Or at a boss like Sire, you know?
Yeah.
Or
I'm just thinking
doesn't, I don't know.
Maybe
even up at like 25% reflect damage. Who cares? You know, like the mirror back helmet would be pretty cool.
But do you take damage though? At that point, is it like it reflects the damage? Oh, you've already taken the damage. Sorry. Yeah. So you take a 40.
If you take a 40, you'd reflect back a 10. That'd be 50% reflection. That'd be crazy if it was 50%. Would be pretty wild. I'm trying to think of like some of these other ones that like that are a little bit more abstract. Like if you can only pick one Slayer helmet recolor for your entire life, obviously it's got to be pretty good. It's like the best perk of them all would obviously have to be the Zuck helm. What would the Zuck helm offer that is good enough to justify going for Grandmaster combat achievements?
Bro, this is like a realm that I'm not even. I don't even know, because like we have Grandmaster achievement rewards, but it's that. Yeah, I don't know, because if it's thematic to the boss, what, like you shoot out an orb that maxes at a 200? That's like, how does that even work? I don't know. Maybe you get Zuck's protection, and it's a damage reducing. Like it's like it has the qualities of like an Elysian but boosted. Like you just take reduced damage from everything because you have Zuck's shield that you stand behind, and it reduces damage.
Could be, yeah.
I would think a cool one for Skotizo would be you get a slight Demon Bane effect with any weapon that you use. So it's not as strong as like an Arclight, but you apply Demon Bane when you're wearing it. Like that is your Demon Bane equivalent, and it just works for any weapon or spell that you use. That one would be kind of cool. Not as OP,
would be
but
pretty
definitely cool for all the demons in the game.
That would be
What
pretty
other ones
cool.
are there? I'm not even sure what you could get for like Abbey demons in Sire that would make it cool. Maybe something to do with acid, since you have the miasma or whatever it is. The thing that you stand on, it just like continuously poisons you. Maybe you have you like send out you just like squirt out poison from the helmet that you're immune to, but things that are standing on it around you would take damage from it. So it's good for like AoE Slayer or something. I think, okay, so a little bit of a balancing question rather. Would the effects only work if you're on task killing the thing? Or do you think that these benefits should work everywhere, regardless if you're killing a Slayer monster on a task?
I don't know. I feel like 99 Slayer is not hard enough to get to justify that, but I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I wish I could, but
I do think that these effects would only count for things that are you still on task. Now, you're going to say, you got 99 Slayer, why are you still doing tasks? People do Slayer because
there's a million reasons.
It's like,
to continue doing
like you
Slayer.
always do Slayer. Even mains just continue to do Slayer. Like you get 90. It's one of the few, besides, I don't know, combats. It's one of the few 99s that you get and you just keep on chugging. Keep on stepping.
Yep.
It doesn't stop.
Keep on stepping.
Like you get 99, you're like, okay, finish the task. What's the next one? You don't even think about like, oh, I'm done. No, you just keep going. But thank you so much for the fun question. Nice sniffer. It was a nice question. If you want to ask us a fun question, you can do so many different ways. I mention them every single episode, but the list is you can send it on Discord, you can send it in a DM, you can send it to our social media, you can email it, you can post it in the fun questions section on Discord if you're a part of the Patreon, or you can send it in a postcard. I got to go check the P.O. box because a couple of people have told me that they're sending something. So at least this week, before we record again, I'm going to check the P.O. box because we may have a postcard or a package.
Is it that bag of dicks? Because we did an April Fool's joke.
I hope so.
That'd be funnier than hell. We did an April Fool's joke this past week, and we kind of cooked it up with the chat mods and the event planners, and we put a thing out that was like, we edited our initial announcement message that said when signups closed. So we released a thing that was like, hey everyone, signups are officially closed for Springo 2025. We're excited to play with you guys. And there was like 10 minutes of sheer panic where people were like, holy fuck, I forgot to sign up for bingo. Oh no, like that happened. I think I have a screenshot of it. We posted this little gag. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, actually. Yeah, so we posted about the Springo signups closing, and that's what my DMs looked like after the fact.
Yeah, I'll put that on screen.
I had so many notifications. I had people messaging me privately. I had 8 notifications in the TNL Discord. I was like, what in the world happened? Because I was like AFK at work and like wasn't like, I knew it was going to happen. We had talked about it in the morning, but like I was working and was AFK or whatever. It was good. It was a good bit. Absolutely. But like it got to a point where it was like, well, guess I'll cancel my PTO. And we're like, wait. No, it's April Fool's. People were like, hey, pretty please, can I like sign myself up for bingo after the fact? And we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, get on in here. Happy April Fools, everyone.
Happy April Fools. I think that puts a very nice cap on this here episode. What do you think?
That's going to do it, folks. If you want to see more of us outside of the show, you can check the description for all of the links you could ever need to anything that we have to offer. We have our Patreon, our merch, our link trees, social media, everything. The P.O. box address is in the description as well. You can check it all out. Even if you're like an audio platform, there's some sort of description. It's not just on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you're there, go ahead and hit subscribe. We love it when you guys subscribe because we're getting close to 6,000. And I think I like unofficially set a goal for us to try and hit 10K this year. So in 2025, hitting 10K subs would be
cool.
It'd be cool. So
Tell
if you're
your
not subscribed
friends,
already,
it'd be pretty cool.
post it in your Discord and in your group chat and your family group chat. Say subscribing is free. Go ahead and do it. But yeah, if you haven't already, liked the video, comment on the video, hit subscribe. We're gonna enjoy that stuff. We're gonna love it. But that's gonna do it. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. I know this episode was a bit tangential, but it's how it shakes out sometimes. So we'll leave you with that. We'll see you guys next week. And you lost the game. Bye.
Why? Why would you do that to them 2 weeks in a row? They didn't deserve that. 2 weeks in a row. Get new material. What the hell?